Good morning, cadets. Today we shall learn the application of Kirchhoff's laws for one particular network called as Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone is name of the scientist who has framed this network. It consists of 4 resistors. Wheatstone bridge consists of 4 resistors R1, R2, R3, R4 taken along a rectangular network. A rectangular network like this. So there are 4 arms you can see here. AB is one arm, BC is another arm, AD is the third arm, and DC is the fourth arm. Right? So in these arms, the resistors R1, R2, R3 and R4 are being taken. And these resistors are also called as, these arms are also called as ratio arms. And one more thing to be noted here is, between one pair of these vertices, a galvanometer is taken. Galvanometer is a device to detect the electric current, and between another opposite pairs of the vertices of the edges AC, you can see here, a source of EMF E is taken. Source of EMF or voltage, source of voltage E is taken. And here we take for our reference a source of EMF with negligible internal resistance. Internal resistance of this battery is neglected. And thus ABCD is a network consisting of the one pair being connected with galvanometer to detect the current, and another opposite pair of the vertices being connected with a source of EMF or source of voltage having negligible internal resistance. So when the circuit is closed, I is the current given out by this battery. This current I flows like this and enters into the junction A. When it enters into the junction A, it divides into 2 paths. I1 along the branch AB and I2 along the branch AD. I1 along AB, I2 along AD. Right? This current I1 after reaching B, again it finds 2 paths. Let IG be the current flowing down through the galvanometer, IG, G for galvanometer, and this capital G is the galvanometer resistance. Every galvanometer will be having its own resistance due to its coil. So let capital G represents the galvanometer resistance, and IG is the current that is flowing down through the galvanometer, and the galvanometer shows the deflection according to the strength of current. If IG is the current flowing down here, then the remaining current I2 minus IG flows through BC, and look at this branch. I2 current after reaching the D, junction D, I2 joins with IG, and thus the current here becomes I2 plus IG. So I2 plus IG is the current, and that is joining C. I2 plus IG, the current joins C, and this is correction here, it is not I2, it is I1. I1 minus IG. Note down please. This is I1, same current I1, and I1 minus IG flows down here, and here it is I2 flowing down A to D. From D to C it is I2 plus IG. I2 plus IG. So at C, these two currents after joining, you see the current that is coming out of the junction C. So current that is coming out here will be I1 minus Ig plus I2 plus Ig. So by applying Kirchhoff's current law, we can find the current that is coming out. The currents entering at C must be equal to the current that is leaving at C. So the current that is leaving at C is Ig after cancelling. You are left with I1 plus I2. And this I1 plus I2 becomes the main current I. As we have seen here, the main current I, after reaching the point A, it splits into two paths, I1 along AB, I2 along AD. So applying Kirchhoff's current law here, I becomes equal to I1 plus I2. And remember, the resistance R1 is taken along AB, R3 is taken along AD, R2 is taken along BC, R4 is taken along DC. So just remember R1, R2, R3, R4 in this order. R1, R2, R3, R4. Or in another words, you can also take R1, R2, R3, R4. R1, R2, R3, R4. So you have to look at the order. Now, after applying the Kirchhoff's current law, I got the current values I1 and I2 and these values here. Now the circuit is closed. Now, I am applying Kirchhoff's voltage law for this ABDA. When I apply Kirchhoff's current law to this ABDA, look at the path of the current goes from A to B, B to D in the clockwise sense. So I will choose the clockwise sense to apply KVL. And if I look at it, another one, BDCB, another closed loop, BDCB, the current here is anti-clockwise. So I can choose anti-clockwise sense of current, right? Now I can apply the KVL, applying Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's voltage law to the loop, closed loop, which is a closed loop here, ABDA. ABDA. Look at the currents. I1, R1. The voltage here is I1, R1. But as the current flows from A to B, there is a fall in potential. So there is a decrease in potential difference. So it becomes minus I1, R1. And from B to D, you see, again there is a decrease in potential difference. So it becomes IgG minus IgG, where G is the resistance of the galvanometer. And look at this one. This is the path D to A, in which the current is flowing from A to D. So when you go from D to A, there is rise in potential. So it should be taken positive. So plus I2 R3 should be equal to 0. This is going to be equation number 1. Now similarly, I am applying another rule, I am choosing another loop BDCB, applying KVL. Similarly, applying KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, to the loop. The loop here is BDCB. Again look at this chosen path, anti-clockwise here. B to D, there is a drop in potential. There is a decrease in potential. So it becomes minus IgG From D to C again there is a decrease in potential. So it becomes plus I2 plus IG, I2 plus IG into R4. So here it is decreased, therefore we have to take negative. And from C to B, look at this, the current is flowing from B to C. So if you move from C to B, there is increase in potential difference, therefore this is positive. I1 minus IG, I1 minus IG into R2. This is equal to 0. Okay, now we got these equations. Now we are choosing these values of resistances R3 and R4 such that the galvanometer should read 0 deflection. Means by suitably adjusting the values of R3 and R4, and even one can adjust R1 and R2 by suitably adjusting the resistances like R2, R4 and R3, the potential at B is made exactly equal to potential at D. So when the potential at B is equal to potential at D, potential difference between B and D becomes 0. When the potential difference becomes 0, no current flows through the galvanometer. So that is one adjustment which we call it as balancing the bridge. At that moment, when the galvanometer reads 0 deflection, the bridge, that is Wheatstone bridge, is said to be balanced by suitably adjusting R2 and R3, by suitably adjusting R2 and R3, the current in the galvanometer IG is made equal to 0. When IG is made equal to 0, then what happens? The bridge is said to be balanced. IG is made equal to 0, the bridge is said to be balanced. When IG is equal to 0, the galvanometer shows 0 deflection. B and D are at same potential. Potential at B is equal to potential at D. So potential difference becomes 0. The galvanometer reads 0 deflection. Then what happens to these equations? Look at the equation above. I1 R1 minus I1 R1, and this middle term IgG becomes 0. Minus 0 plus I2 R3, this becomes 0. So this I can write it as I1 R1 equal to I2 R3. This implies I1 R1 is equal to I2 R3. You can call this equation number 1. This is the case when the bridge is balanced. When the current through galvanometer reads 0 deflection. Then what happens to this second equation? Look at this. IgG becomes 0. When IgG becomes 0, look at this. You will be left with minus I2 R4 plus I1 R2. Ig is 0 here. So you are left with minus I2 R4 plus I1 R2 equal to 0. So this can be rewritten as I1 R2 equal to I2 R4. This implies I1 R2 equal to I2 R4. Call this equation 2. Now dividing equation 1 by equation 2, left hand side by left hand side and right hand side by right hand side. Dividing 1 by 2. I will write here. LHS by LHS, RHS by RHS. If you divide it, look at this. I1 cancels, you are left with R1 by R2, and I2 cancels, you are left with R3 by R4. We get R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. So this is a very interesting ratio. The ratio of the resistances R1 by R2 is becoming equal to R3 by R4. That is the ratio of other two arms. So these resistors are also said to be in ratio arms. This happens only when the galvanometer reads zero deflection by suitably adjusting R2, R3 resistances, or even R1 can be adjusted so that R4 will be automatically adjusted. So this condition is condition of balanced bridge. So I am writing here what is the meaning of condition of balanced bridge. So I have written the same thing again. When the galvanometer deflection is made zero by suitably adjusting the resistances R2, R3 and even R1, we get the very interesting ratio, that is R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. This condition is called as balancing condition of the Wheatstone network. What is the importance of this? If we know three resistances of the resistors in the ratio arm, then the resistance of the fourth resistor can be very easily calculated. If R4 is unknown and R1, R2, R3 are known, see here, if R1, R2 and R3 are known resistances, then R4 can be unknown resistance R4 can be calculated as R4 is equal to, you can take here R2 R3 by R1, R2 R3 by R1. In some of the books, these resistances will be taken as P and Q, R and S. You can also remember it as P by Q equal to R by S. So usually S will be unknown, then unknown resistance S is equal to QR by P. Unknown resistance S is equal to QR by P. Okay. So this is how it is helpful to find the unknown resistance, value of unknown resistance. Now let me quickly take one particular example. Suppose there is a network of resistors taken along a rectangular arm with a galvanometer resistance G is equal to 50 ohm being taken here, and the resistances here are 100 ohm, 50 ohm, and here 1000 ohm and 500 ohm. 1000 ohm and 500 ohm. So if such a network is given, if you are asked to find out equivalent resistance, suppose it is connected to a source of EMF of about 10 volt, source of EMF of about 10 volt. You may be asked to calculate what is the equivalent resistance of this network ABCD. Now, before we go for actually solving and applying Kirchhoff's laws, what we need to do is whether this bridge is obeying the balancing condition or not. First of all, we have to check the balancing condition of the bridge. Look at this. This is 100 ohm and this is 50 ohm. R1 by R2 should be equal to R3 by R4. R1 by R2. What is R1 by R2? This you can take it as R1 and this you can take it as R2. This you can take it as R3. This you can take it as R4. Or even you can take this one R1, R2, R3, R4. R1, R2, R3, R4. In that way also you can choose. So R1 by R2, check what is R1 by R2. R1 by R2 is equal to 100 by 1000. 100 by 1000. So this becomes 1 by 10. What is R3 by R4? R3 by R4 is equal to 50 by 500. So again you are getting 1 by 10. Thus we get R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. So bridge is balanced. Therefore here bridge is balanced. So now it is very simple. No current flows through this BD arm at all. So current through the galvanometer is 0. This implies Ig through the galvanometer reads 0. Whatever be the resistance value of the galvanometer, no current flows through BD arm at all. No current flows through galvanometer. Means B and D are at same potential. It is as if nothing is being connected between B and D. Right? Then you can see R1 and R3 are in series. R2 and R4 are in series. Now it is very easy to calculate the equivalent resistance since R1 and R3 are in series. So series resistance becomes 150. And R2 and R4, they are in the another branch. Their effective resistance becomes, they are in series, 1000 plus 500, 1500. So 150 and 1500, they are in parallel. So you can very easily calculate what is the equivalent resistance. So equivalent resistance now can be calculated as I will just rub here. Equivalent resistance can be now calculated as R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R3 and R2 plus R4. They are in R2 plus R4. They are in parallel, divided by R1 plus R3 plus R2 plus R4. These are in parallel. Therefore, R1 plus R3 is how much? 1500. Oh, sorry, 150. R1 plus R3 is 150 into R2 plus R4, 1500 divided by 150 plus 1500. So thus 150 into 1500 divided by, you can add here 1650. 1650. So you can cancel 1 0 here, right? So 15 11s are 15 ones are 15 11s are. So it becomes 1500 divided by 11. So that becomes equivalent resistance. So when the bridge is balanced, the network becomes very simple. The solution will become very easy. So this is the advantage of Wheatstone's bridge when the bridge is balanced, right? So 1500 by 11 becomes the equivalent resistance. You can just calculate if you want. 11 ones are 11, 4 remains, 11 3s are 33, then 7 remains, 11 6 are 66, again 4 remains, 0.3 ohm. So if you want, you can now calculate what is the current. The entire current can be calculated. I is equal to E by R equivalent. E is 10 and the R equivalent is 1500 divided by 11. So 11 comes to the numerator, 1 0 cancels. So 11 divided by 150 ampere. This is the current value. So like this, the complex network becomes simple. And remember, whatever the current that flows, suppose I1 is the current that flows, the same current I1 flows down because Ig is 0. No current flows down here. And if I2 is the current flowing here, the same current I2 continues to flow along DC. Therefore, even if you want, you can calculate I1, I2 separately. So according to the ratio, the values of the currents can be also calculated. I1 into 150 is equal to I2 into 1500. You can calculate I1 and I2. We know I1 plus I2 equal to I, which is 11 by 150. So I1 R1 plus R2. I1 into R1 plus R2 is I1 into 150 is equal to I2 into, because potential difference will be same now, I2 into R2 plus R4, 1500. Therefore, one can calculate what is I1. Therefore, I1 is equal to 0 0 cancels, 15 ones are 15 tens are. I1 is equal to 10 times I2. I1 is equal to 10 times I2. So if you substitute, you can calculate what is the value of I1 and I2 separately. Okay, this is how we need to apply the condition of balanced bridge and solve for the numerical problem. So whenever such numerical problems are given to you, first of all you have to check whether the bridge is balanced or not. If the bridge is not balanced, if R1 by R2 is not equal to R3 by R4, look at the order. R1 by R2, if you are taking like this, even this is also giving you 100 by 50, that is equal to 2. R3 by R4, you have to take the order R1, R2, R3, R4, or R1, R2, R3, R4. You have to take that particular order. If you take R1 and R2, then R1 by R2 becomes 100 by 50, that is 2. R3 by R4 you can check, 1000 by 500, that is also 2. So when the bridge is balanced, the ratio of the resistances in the ratio arms are equal. The ratio is same. Then the solution of the problem becomes simple. You need not go for applying the Kirchhoff's laws. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.